Surprise. I'm Brent Leary.
It's probably no surprise. I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM players, but it's a surprise because we weren't telling anybody we were doing this right now.
We didn't even tell each other. We just sort of showed up at the same place.
It's a pop-up. It's a pop-up live stream. We're here in Vegas still. We're at Verint Engage. We talked to a lot of great people yesterday, but we didn't talk to everybody we wanted to talk to.
No, in fact, we were hoping that we would have a guest appearance from, the only way to put it is the Verint and actually the world's superhero.
Actually, I think we're going to call him Captain Canadian American.
No, that doesn't work.
Captain America?
Americanada?
Let's let him come in and introduce himself. It's the one and only Captain America, a.k.a.
Dave Singer.
Hey, guys.
Oh, look, you even coordinated with the tabletop.
There we go. That'll work.
That is a beautiful thing.
Thanks for making time. You know, you're a very busy man, you know, saving people's lives and stuff like that. But what about the Canadian fires? Because you are from there.
You know, the shield's not quite big enough to put over the fire, so I did my best, but I'm letting the good people, the Canadian Firefighting Service, take care of that for me on this one.
Anyway, thanks for making time today.
Always.
Really appreciate it. I didn't even allow you to do your usual venerable Paul
We kind of
Greenberg
did it when we were talking it through, but I mean,
You want to do a short
I'll
one?
do it. I'll do the Dave Singer intro. This man is.
Remember.
Oh yeah, I keep doing it. Oh, hi, camera. Right. That is the most static audience I've ever seen, though. Even
Not
though
as
I know
one
outside.
Yesterday, we had a pretty static audience.
Yeah. So, Dave. The thing with Dave is that we kid around about Captain America and all that, but he really is kind of a superhero here. And one of the things that if you talk to customers, but you also talk to Verint staff, and this is something I always do. He is not only well regarded, he is literally, and this is literally the case, loved, right? And that he's respected. People think he's a wonderful human being. His work is stellar. So he kind of fits the shield as an individual.
Really?
As an individual, right? And Dave, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, and you're making me blush. That is
true, though.
very kind.
That's what he does.
I do literally check it, and I do literally ask those
Believe
questions.
me, there's a reason why he does the intros and I don't. Because my intro would be like, here's Dave.
That's what I usually get from most people, so I appreciate it. I do.
All right, so we're hanging out in Engage.
Yeah.
The Engage was the first conference that we did last year that we came back after the pandemic.
Yep.
And we're glad to be back. And
That's
it's in
awesome.
Vegas, and it's we typically don't like Vegas, but we like Bellagio.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bellagio's a nice place.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my God.
the art everywhere, the vibe of this place is fantastic.
It's just it's a beautifully constructed.
Yeah.
And by the way, even though I can't say it stands up quite to Bouchon Bakery, that little kiosk in Venetian, the gelato place here with the pastries, they're really good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple last night.
Nice.
All right. So this is the first Engage in the Gen AI era.
Yes.
I mean, from last year to this year, with the Gen AI and OpenAI and ChatGPT, what has that done? What has that meant to what you do here and what your customers are looking for when it comes to Verint offerings?
Yeah, so it's you say like from last year to this year, it's like a couple of months, right? And like Gen AI is like the fastest thing bursting onto the scene I've ever seen, right? I mean, you ask, man on the street about AI like August last year, crickets, right? Now I've told the story a few times. I'm interviewing teachers in high schools. My son's starting high school next year, 2 months. And his teacher saying, yeah, we use ChatGPT to create individualized lesson plans for every student.
Are you kidding?
For every student.
Yeah, because they can take their standard lesson plan, feed that in, a prompt for what each student needs, and it generates an individualized plan for every student.
I will tell you this, for your son's sake, I hope you're using the paid version.
Yeah, the little hallucination is getting interesting in that one. But I mean, just that kind of change. I mean, who thought high school teacher would be at the vanguard of Gen AI, right? That's just how prevalent it's become. So what's been really exciting for us is it means we can take all that tech, train it on our data, and bring more capabilities to our customers insanely fast. Like we've launched, you guys saw yesterday, we launched like 8 new bots. We launched on Maintain yesterday.
It was way more than
No,
eight.
yesterday you showed 14 bots.
Yeah, fair point. But and that's the power of Gen AI. That's what our customers expect what we can do. It's allowed us to move so quickly. It's amazing.
Well, see, the thing that really appealed to me how you handled it, though,
Yeah.
and the messaging, and also in just the way you seem to be doing it, is that you completely intermeshed both Gen AI and just let's call it the traditional, which has become traditional already, Da Vinci AI, into the fabric of the platform. It's not like, okay, we have this separate layer, or we have this separate cloud, or we have this separate anything.
Right.
It's just completely like intermeshed fully throughout, which struck me. That's very different than every other vendor I've seen so far. And I think the other thing is that given that the bots are basically a combination also, each of them is functional.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's designed to do, we strongly believe in human augmentation, not human replacement, right? So the bots are designed to make your human employees better and better and deliver better and better experiences for your end customers. And you're exactly right about embedding, right? It's critical. So the example you use sometimes is think about Alexa, right? Speech Reco has been around for decades, right? There's been speech-driven technologies for a long time, but you don't want to go into your office, boot up your computer, log onto a website, and then do something. That's not useful. But the fact that I can stand in my kitchen and go, Alexa, set a 10-minute timer for eggs. Alexa, how many teaspoons is 27 milliliters? That's useful. It's AI injected where you're working, and that's strongly how we believe this stuff works. There is no difference.
It's deeply prevalent too. I'm not kidding. When you said the word Alexa, I literally looked around the room to see if we were going to trigger it somewhere.
I didn't say the S word because that would have.
All right, so you brought up bots.
Yeah.
Oh.
That went dead? That's a fully charged battery. All right, pause.
Well, pause. There's no pause.
Yeah.
I'll just change I'm going to have to change. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, why don't you also go to the screen with just Dave talking, and I'll go change the battery out there. That was weird.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
there we go.
Hey!
Yeah, we had a technical glitch, everybody.
All right,
So camera 1,
Actually,
camera 2, camera 1,
let's go
camera
with
2.
this at this point. So we asked Celia, we asked Jamie, we asked Daniel, and then we even asked Maribel Lopez.
And we asked each other.
We asked each other what their favorite bots were.
Who was it?
Yeah.
Who was it?
So which one is your favorite bot?
The Dora the Insight bot.
Okay, so that was Maribel, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Maribel.
Maribel.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's the window into this insane amount of data, right? The promise of what you can do with data has been there for a long time, but it's been held back to IT and to analysts and data scientists. They've been able to do this stuff for a long time. But the ability for any user in an organization to say, hey, tell me what's going on. Tell me why. And they can fix their piece of the problem right away. That amount of power is incredible. I don't think something like that's been seen before. Also, the fact that Heather, my colleague, named it. Do you know why it's Dora?
Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer. Explore your data.
Oh, it's
Okay, so we have three votes for summary, but what's the name of this
I
summary?
can't remember.
Nobody remembers it. Which is
Will the Wrapper bot.
okay.
The Will the Rap.
That's right. So 3 for Will, 2 for Freddie, and 2 for Dora.
Yep.
Me and Celia were Freddie.
Yep.
He was Will. Jamie was Will.
And so was
Daniel. Daniel was Will.
Yep.
Dan. And then Maribel and you are Dora.
Yep.
And me and Celia were for Freddie because Freddie's the it's
like the
underdog.
Got it.
Freddie's
So-
described as basic.
Yeah. So fun thing. So I agree. I hate basic in that. It makes me angry even writing the script. It's terrible. Fun thing about Freddie though is that is one of the few non-Gen AI bots.
Really?
right? Because generative AI is about taking prompts and generating content. It generates art, it generates language. It doesn't generate a forecast. That's where you need neural nets. There's still other AI out there
Nice.
other than Gen AI.
That's what-
And we use whatever is right for a situation. You don't like Tim the Toolman Taylor. Looks like a sledgehammer.
Yeah,
Right.
but that brings up an interesting point. Are your customers or the folks that you're talking to, do they, kind of understand that there are so many different flavors of AI, and this is one that's catching everybody's attention, but it's not all AI.
Yeah. I'm having that conversation more and more and more every day because it's like, well, how do you use Gen AI for this? Like, well, we don't, because it's not fit for that purpose, but we use neural nets. We use, large language models in a non-generative sense. There's all kinds of ways you slice and dice this stuff, right? And it's important. That's why I think Da Vinci as a construct is so powerful, because it's really that wrapper that lets us use our inbuilt proprietary models with Gen AI, with neural nets, with whatever we need to solve a problem. And someone's asking me earlier, so we're doing this interview next year. What's different? Like, I have no idea.
Damn, that was my next question.
So I'll tell you what's going to happen is around October, November, December, there will be some incredible new technology that bursts onto the scene that no one saw coming. And by the time I talk to you guys this time next year, it will be embedded in our platform, driving value for our customers.
Wow. So you'll be able. So does that mean like organizations generally, they have to be able to quickly, once this thing is identified, to quickly be able to pounce on it?
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. GPT and which is a great drink came from GPT that I think your next guest might talk about.
Next guy.
Right? No, like nobody saw that coming, but we've embedded it. We've launched, I think 7 or 8 of the 14 bots use Gen AI. That's why the open construct that we anchor on is so important. You've got to be open to bring in what you need quickly.
Let me follow up real quick. How much time did it take for you to go from, this thing is catching on to, all right, we got it on our platform?
Where are we now? June? Is that where we are?
Yeah.
About 4 months.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
Right. And that's from, from conception to delivered.
All right, one more follow up.
Yeah.
The next thing that comes in
Final
October,
question.
Yeah.
how long do you think you'll have before it goes from what is it to it's got to be in the platform?
2 months.
Before- I was gonna
2 months.
say, So it's going to go from, it's going to be always
Yep.
shrinking basically.
Yeah.
Will that be with the help of generative AI?
Probably.
No.
I mean, great use of Gen AI is writing code.
they'll
right?
Gen AI might identify this next big thing.
Bots helping bots.
It turned out to be good generative AI.
All right.
So,
No, that's it, my friend. Thank
all
you.
right.
Didn't we ask him this last year?
Oh, yeah, no, we already know his football question.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
passed the test.
All right.
Yes.
I passed. I was
That's
really
right.
terrified. I was warned the question was coming. There is a wrong answer and there will be
Well, you already
consequences.
faced it.
So I'm all
you're
good.
already clear.
All right. Well, good to see you, man. Good to see you again.
All right.
Don't forget the shield.
Like I'd forget my shoes.
That's like, don't forget your hat on the way out.
Thanks.
And guess what? Just so happens that when one guest leaves,
Another.
Like he was talking about a rapper. What?
yeah, Will the rapper.
Will.
I thought he was talking about the Fresh Prince of Will Smith. or
That's
something.
what I thought.
Well, while you get mic'd up,
Which is a
you want to
challenge.
do you can do an intro.
We don't have to do an intro. This guy's like
Yeah.
a member of the family.
Yeah, been on before.
Many times. Jim Miller, God. right?
No, none of that.
Conversation
No,
with
no.
AI.
No, it's I call him the Botfather.
Botfather,
fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
You ought to feel
Botfather.
right at home.
Well,
here.
think about there's put a bot on it. That's what this message has all been.
What was that? Now, see,
That
every
was-
time you say
Oh, that
something,
was
I start thinking of the original
Portlandia's
expression.
put a bird on it.
Put a bird on. it.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
Portlandia.
All right. Officially, Dan Miller.
That's right.
And now we can look here because this is the actual camera.
Yeah, unfortunately, the
Oh,
battery
I
died
got you.
already.
Hey,
Well, it's actually not that big.
No, it's not bad. We can handle it.
Dan Miller, Opus Research. And I still call you the Botfather.
it's,
So
it's all good.
the whole talk of this whole conference so far has been bots, but we need to hear from the Botfather what your impressions are so far.
it was one a surprise. I won't say shock. But there's a certain genius to how they're packaging this thing. And maybe there was an inevitability, because when we at Opus first started writing about what we called enterprise intelligent assistants and tried to influence the world. Right, and we're on our 6th now, sort of comparison of enterprise intelligent assistance offerings. But it didn't catch, you could do IVA, you could do EIA, but people were thinking, oh, those are bots. And I said, well, bot has baggage. There's a lot of negative connotations with the word bot, because there were spam bots, or all viruses were brought in by bots, but we're tolerating it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the thing that made these bots so interesting, I think, to everybody is they're functional, right? They actually do something, as opposed to sort of generically, to your point, answer customer service questions really badly, right? So,
well, and they may not manifest as bots. I mean, because the next question, no questions came up that used to come up when you were talking about bots. Like, does it have an avatar? Should it be a woman or a man? And all that stuff. But what gets really interesting is that there's some there's human language input to what looks like a search bar everywhere. And the thing that answers, we're now thinking of as a bot. And we don't care that, it's not the metaverse, it's not Web3. It's just, hey, I communicate with this, and it's conversational. So the big radical thing that happened November, because he mentioned I was going to bring up GPT as a drink. Because a year ago at this, at the Verint get together, I had mentioned that I was on a Zoom call during the pandemic with a bunch of friends, and they said, well, everybody should make up a drink that we can have. And so I made up one at that time called GPT-3. Okay. And it was gin, Pernod, and tonic, and then 3 different bitters. And I'd never had a Pernod drink. I actually went. I was going to ask you to actually put that together. It was on like the high shelf at our liquor, where
you should have coined the phrase, man.
Well, I don't know. After you're putting Pernod with gin and 3 different bitters, it might be.
I actually thought it was pretty good.
What were the bitters?
Well, D'Angostura.
Orange, I presume.
Maybe a little orange. Yeah.
And what would be the third?
Well. Peychaud, well, the classic bitters, and then one that just struck my fancy, maybe horseradish.
Copyrighted GPT-3.
I really got to taste that one.
You should.
I just can't imagine the combination with Pernod and gin.
It would surprise you, but and tonic, Fever Tree tonic. Don't go Schweppes or yeah.
And I assume the regular Fever Tree, not the like elderflower.
Right, ignore all that. Old school.
Hardcore.
Yeah, just like Pernod. They're no, hardcore Pernod.
2-1-1.
It was equal parts.
Okay.
Gin and Pernod, and then put the tonic. Yeah.
Alan Burks is saying, are there 2 Godfathers in the session? Yeah, Alan, there are.
So we're live? We are live?
Oh,
that's so cool. Hey, Alan.
So how many events have you been to so far this year?
I've cut down significantly, but 5? Like once a month. Okay. And I'll be in Denver next week. And
I'll be there next week.
Oh, cool. And then I'm calling a little time. I'm going up to Canada to see my son. And
you bring some water with you.
Oh my God! Yeah, I have smoke-proof clothing.
Have you taken fire fighting lessons yet?
Oh, I should.
We could go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they said that the average age, I was listening to NPR because I'm an insomniac, but the average age of a volunteer fireman in the U.S. is now over 60
Really?
because young kids they can't find the time or the lifestyle or the
They want to be
training.
influencers. So
Yeah,
they're
they're too busy being influencers.
All right, so
Okay.
you've been to 5 events and you get briefed by all sorts of different companies. Have you heard anybody kind of put Gen AI in the context and kind of the realm that these guys have? Because typically, we've been saying this all along. You go to a vendor event and they're just putting Gen AI all in your face without any real
GPT to their
context.
products.
Yeah,
Right.
It's like here it is, but it's kind of completely disconnected to whatever their strategy was before. What do you feel about how these guys did it?
So when you were talking, at Enterprise Connect this year, one of the challenges was, how do you differentiate yourself in the sea of sameness? The sea of sameness. And I'm going to credit Simon Harrison with that, the former CMO of Avaya and the ex-Gartner guy.
That's a good one.
Well, but it's the challenge. I mean, once you say, hey, I'm going to have the holistic approach in a platform and be best of breed and tick off all the boxes, then everybody's sort of saying the same thing. But my headline for writing about this was the genius of open UCaaS. Or CCaaS. I already got it wrong. The genius of open CCaaS, because the light goes on. Because when people think CCaaS, they think of the classic contact center in the cloud, and this and here's Verint saying no. CCaaS can be what we're offering, this holistic approach that allows for best of breed, which includes bring your own telephony. So you want to commoditize the piping, and the whole mission in marketing is to make your competitor's thing a commodity, but not yours. And it has, and what you're basically saying is, I respect the fact, and what I'm really the godfather of is I made up a term called, now I'm going to forget my own. This isn't good.
Conversational.
No, conversational commerce, but before that, it was recombinant communications.
Wow.
And so back in 2011, I said, here's the story, is that there is no UCaaS, there is no CCaaS, or there is no, we weren't even talking about as a service, but there's no unified communications. What you really have is recombinant communications, which means people are going to keep what works for them. You're going to go in and look in a closet with the hardware that only one person knows to use, and you can say, don't touch that. And yet you want to overlay that with the latest thing to fulfill on market requirements. And it's going to follow a survival of the fittest, a very Darwinian model of and so what they're now calling composable.
Oh yeah.
So composable is, I'll buy it. It's another word that I don't know that a lot of people. Right. With Ajax, on the agent screen, I can just do all this stuff. But it is the fulfillment, because it all moves to software. And now there's this layering of, so there's a solution stack in the software realm. Well, there's a solution stack, which, is like the ISO model that starts with the physical and goes up and up. But now there's definitely an AI layer. And some of it is generative. A lot of it, just, there's no new technology here. The one thing that radicalized the world and put pressure on Dave and these guys to say, okay, we got that in here, and all the competitors saying, we have a partnership with OpenAI, and ours is a better partnership than the others, or we're paying OpenAI X, Y, or Z, is that there's an AI layer, and what should be the takeaway here, and I don't know if I'm answering your question about whether this is different or not, is there are large language models that the hyperscalers invested billions of dollars in, and they're going to fall into a category called foundational or core.
Right.
And then there's, I call them big enough language models that are the customer data, the
Right.
stuff in the CRM, the
More
call records, the
more
stuff,
specific.
yeah, that can be aggregated in something like the data hub here, which I think is a real differentiator.
And the data enricher and the data.
Right, and then there's the connector, enhancer, blah, 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 that can move that into purpose-driven resources. And then this gets to your question about the bots. Sometimes they're rendered as bots.
Right.
Sometimes they're just some conversational entity that shows up on a screen.
Right.
And because Microsoft's Copilot is going to be everywhere, and that's going to be pretty powerful.
Well, they're already embedding it into their standard apps and improvements in their apps. So.
And the partnerships like what they have with pros on the sales optimizations, pricing.
Could have been Siri. could still be Siri.
well,
could have been.
But that's the thing. All the stuff that we're still talking about, it's mostly text and. Why haven't we still integrated actual voice?
Yeah, well, that's going to be super seamless. Because the entity you communicate with is going to look like a search bar. But even if you look at the Google search bar, you can always press the microphone and say what you want. And so there is accurate transcription, text, speech to text rendering, and it's really fast, and it'll add translation.
Multilingual. I mean, lots of stuff. All right.
Okay, we have to stop.
Question.
Yeah. This is wait. No, you don't know.
Question.
What?
Don't make it a football question.
Well, no, we're not. We know that answer.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite bot?
Who's my favorite bot?
Because we had
Wow.
everybody else. Who's your favorite?
Wow. My personal bot.
No, your favorite.
The one
Verint.
from the combine.
Oh, which one? Oh,
Which one of the
oh,
14?
Twiggy.
Which one was it?
No, there wasn't a Twiggy.
Making up bots.
No, oh man.
Well, we'll give you.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we
give me a candidate.
I think three folks said the wrap up.
Oh, the
Will.
summer.
Will
Will.
wrap up.
Yeah.
Two,
Dora the Explorer was a
Two.
popular one.
Yeah.
and then two Freddy.
Okay. And I won't remember. I'm horrible with names. I don't remember.
Frida was the advanced.
Oh, Frida was the
analytics,
advanced
and
analytics.
Freddy was the
Wait a
basic.
minute. I thought
Yeah.
there was Fredo and then Sonny.
I like the person.
Frida.
Fred
Fredo,
and Wilma.
I like Fredo
Yeah.
and Sonny.
Yeah.
Crowley Young bot.
Yeah.
You have any favorite?
Not. I mean, like I said, they're going to be purpose driven, and I don't have a purpose right now.
All right.
But
Fair enough.
I won't show
Botfather's
favorites.
taking
It's like
time.
asking who's your favorite child. Nobody's going to tell you that. It was always Dorothy.
All right. Well, Dan, we really appreciate you taking time to join us and hang out a little bit.
This is always fun,
Yeah,
and
it was awesome.
we can sort of elevate the key issues.
Yes, and you did spectacularly well there.
Good.
All right. Well, on behalf of Dan Miller, I'm Rick Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg,
We are the Sierra Players, and we are looking at the right camera.
and that is a batteryless camera over there.
Oh, it's
Dead
not there.
battery
You can't
camera.
see it.
We'll get it fixed.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
fix it.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye,
Alan.
bye, Alan.